When it comes to aesthetics, the way you look, or bodybuilding, what are the best strength training exercises for every body part? That's what we're going to talk about today. The best exercises for how you look when you're strength training. Let's do this.
We're going to narrow it to one exercise for that body part.
Yeah, well, try to.
Well, at least you have a case for it.
I think it'll create good discussion, right? Because some of these movements aren't even in our what we would consider our top five, right? We have if you've listened to the podcast long enough, you've heard us talk about the big five movements, and we talk about why if the average person could just do that, have a great physique. But beyond that, when you are trying to isolate a muscle group or develop a body part, I do think there's a hierarchy of exercise. I think that what we talk about, the big five, I think lays the foundation for everybody, bodybuilding or not. Like you get good and strong at the big five, it gives you the biggest
performance, bodybuilding, function,
everything, right? You get good those five, and that covers basically everybody, especially for the first couple of years. Now beyond that, it's like, okay, now I'm really trying to sculpt my body. What other movements?
And I did want to make the context of like aesthetics and bodybuilding, because if we were talking about athletic performance,
totally
or
different,
just overall strength, they could change, right?
All right.
But this is like pure. Just
have to know context.
I'll sit this one out.
Well, I just got to know context, so I'm not like just shooting out a bunch of.
He's so mad. There's no rotational stuff in there.
Actually, I did put a couple.
Oh, did you put some rotational stuff in?
I did.
Oh, okay.
A little bit. All right, so let's start with quads. So quads. Now we're gonna break up the body, the whole body into body parts, right? So just like a bodybuilder would do. So when it comes to quads, right, the muscles on the front of the thighs, I put front squats. I think front squats, barbell front squats are just a great quad exercise, better than even a back squat. Now, a back squat overall is one of the best exercises, but again, we're talking bodybuilding, and I'm also thinking in combination with the rest of the exercises that we're going to be talking about.
And are we trying to stay, because the bodybuilding community might push back and argue with you a hack squat.
Sure.
Because you could load it more.
Sure.
You know, but but I think most everything you hit here, you did your best when I looked at the exercises you chose to be as functional and free weight as possible.
Accessible.
Yes.
Yeah, because somebody, listening is, oh, hack squat. I don't have a hack squat, but I have a barbell.
Right.
So I could do a front squat.
Okay. That's so I like setting the table with that, because they're each one of these could be debated and argued, oh, this is better for these reasons. But you did pick a bunch of exercises that if you have a set of barbell and dumbbells, you could do them all. You could do them all.
Yeah. So the front squat, and I know you like the front squats at least.
Yeah, and they're going to do the genie version of it, which is fine. I'll allow that.
Whatever, that's not true. I used to front squat like you're supposed to.
Did you do this?
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yes,
I did wrist mobility. Look at you,
bro.
My biceps too big.
Dig up the picture of me doing that with 315.
Well, Adam actually used to be an athlete. So.
That's
that's all right.
I said nothing mean to you, but now just
man.
wait.
Let's come on.
All right, next is hamstrings, stiff-legged deadlift or Romanian deadlift. I think is more accurately called. It's the best hamstring development exercise you could possibly do. It works the entire hamstring structure. I know a lot of people like leg curls, but really that is mostly the leg bicep, and you're not getting the other parts.
You can't load that anywhere near. I don't even think that's close. The only thing I could make an argument for, either a close second or a replace, arguably, is a good morning.
Yeah.
Because you could load more, right? Because the limiting factor now becomes with the stiff-legged deadlift. You got to hold on to that.
Yeah.
A little more risky, I guess you would say. Yeah.
The form on a good morning is harder for people to get, even though they're almost identical in terms of the motion. So, all right, glutes. For the glutes, hip thrust. Now, barbell squats build the butt, deadlifts build the butt, but hip thrusts build the butt.
Targeted.
Yeah, and they build the butt in people who have trouble feeling their butt or connecting to their butt when they do things like squats and deadlifts. This is why so many people like hip thrusts. The people who have trouble developing their glutes tend to find success with the hip thrust because it's hard not to feel your glutes. It's hard not to get the glutes to be active in a barbell hip thrust. So it's a great butt exercise.
No debate here.
I think the most isolating type of exercise for the glutes.
100%. 100%. Again, this is why when I saw the way you listed these exercises, I thought it's important to explain to people that we're talking beyond the big five, because the big five is going to get you a long ways with all these body parts, but now we're targeting specific things. I'm taking into consideration, the big five. Here's the next level to that. Hip thrust for sure here.
Now here's where we might get some debate with the back. I put two exercises. Now I know a lot of bodybuilders or the bodybuilder types wouldn't even put a deadlift in there as a back exercise. Strength athletes, of course, athletes in general, of course. But sometimes you'll hear bodybuilders, many times you'll hear them talk about the deadlift as not being really a good back exercise. I really got to disagree. I've never seen more back development in myself, in clients, in the people around me than when they've gotten really strong at the deadlift. I think it has to do with how much you can load it with, the tension it creates. It just develops a really thick, strong looking back. So I put deadlifts in there.
Yeah, that's true. The only pushback you'd probably get is from bodybuilders for that, right? Yeah, because we all know how much it builds and develops your back and your posterior chain in general. But it must be more from an isolating
perspective. It is. It's the hypertrophy biomechanic dorks that always want to debate this. And I challenge anybody who has never tried to deadlift to build your back to go do that and see what happens. I mean, I obviously you've heard me argue this on the podcast. It was one of the biggest changes in my back development was getting into deadlifting, was doing that. And
this was already after you.
After I'd already been trained 10 years and built a decent physique. I had a decent physique.
You were a pro at that point.
Yeah, so I'd already built a good physique without ever really deadlifting, but deadlifting just exploded my back. And I think the reason why it's important to understand is because that's how someone will look through the lens of mechanically what's going on. Yeah. And you're like, oh, there's exercises that take the back through fuller range of motion, like a pull-up or a row. Like, how could you?
This is just a isometric exercise.
But watch, if you take somebody, start at whatever number. Let's say you can only deadlift 200 pounds your first time deadlifting, and you're pretty strong because you've been lifting weights for a long time too. You take that deadlift and you get it up to 300, 400, 500 pounds. And watch what it does to all those other movements that you argue is the better movement.
Right.
So make the argument that a barbell row is one of the best things for back. Okay, it's one of the best ones for sure. I will challenge you that if you double your strength in deadlift, you will barbell row more than you've ever barbell rowed in your life. Same thing with the lat pull down or a pull up or any other back exercise. If you get strong at deadlifting, you will build a back bigger than you've ever built before.
Now, I did include another back exercise that's more of a direct lat exercise, just because the back is so complex, and I put a pull-up. And I think for the lats, just the latissimus dorsi muscles, a pull-up, a pull-down, pull-up, I think that's one of the best exercises you could do. And the reason why a barbell row isn't here is because the deadlift is here. If I took out the deadlift, then the barbell row would have to be in there.
Yeah.
So, all right, next, chest. Incline barbell press. For aesthetics and bodybuilding, I think this would develop the aesthetic looking chest that you're looking for. A bench press is a great chest exercise, but you always run the risk of having an overdeveloped lower chest versus upper chest.
This is because of the upper development of
That's
your
right.
chest.
That's right.
You're
That's
focused
right.
on that.
Yeah, no debate here again with me. I just think that you add in everything, the points that you're making, in addition to, I just find that it's one of the more neglected movements.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it's neglected because I think it's superior already. And if it's definitely superior if you neglect it. Like if you've been bench pressing, like a lot of young men have been doing for a long time, where they love to do flat and decline because they're stronger doing that, and you avoid or you do less of the incline bench, get strong at your incline bench, see what happens.
Totally. And then for shoulders, here you go, Justin, a little rotation in the hand here. Arnold press. Now, the reason why I put an Arnold press over a shoulder press or dumbbell shoulder press is an Arnold press is the fullest range of motion that I think you can do with a shoulder press. It really brings the dumbbell all the way down, elbow all the way down to your foot.
It's full range of motion.
It's a very full range of motion, and I think it develops really nice looking delts as a result. So if I had to pick one, it would have to be the Arnold.
That's interesting, yeah.
Are you using much of this in your pursuit right now of getting your shoulder press to 315? I didn't even ask you
I did in the beginning. I did a lot of rotational pressing, and two, even like bottoms up pressing. So I was trying to stress more instability and,
I was say, bolster the support system.
Yeah, bolster the support system for that, and two, to express rotation for reinforcement was a high priority for me. But where I'm at now is really just the technical side of it. So
good. And then next up, biceps. You had to pick one exercise. There's a lot of good bicep exercises, but I picked alternating supinating dumbbell curls. Because of the supinating action, you're going to get some brachialis, brachioradialis. The bicep also supinates, and then of course at the top it's like a full curl. It's just a full bicep exercise in comparison to the other ones.
If I were to debate you, it would be a supinated pull-up.
Oh, supinated grip pull-up? Yeah, and then you're really... Yeah, you know why I didn't pick that?
Just difficulty.
Hard.
Yeah, it's a hard. I mean, that's your only argument, in my opinion, is that because if we're making the case that we're trying to help the general population, and I'm not there to coach this person, maybe they don't do a supinated pull up correctly without engaging their lats more. But if you understand how to do it, or I'm talking to somebody who's more an advanced lifter, I'm going to make the case that the supinated pull-up is even better.
Now, the alternating part, is this just to have it in its length and tension position?
Honestly, it doesn't make a big difference. It's just how I've always done them. But I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Maybe so the person can focus more, but not a big difference. Next up, triceps dips. Yeah, parallel bar dips. Great full range of motion. Tricep exercise, allows the elbow to move back and forward as you press. I've rarely ever met anybody who's really strong at these doesn't have great triceps.
Oh yeah,
it's a classic exercise.
Yeah, no, the only honorable mention here is the close grip bench press, but I wouldn't debate you guys on dips on this, especially you loaded, right?
That's right.
Not just body weight, but getting to the place where you load these and do these in the full stretch position is just incredible.
And then calves, standing raises, calf raises. Calves are kind of boring, but this we're doing every body part. Standing calf raises is you're getting everything, the gastrocs, you're getting the soleus. I know seated hits the soleus part. It's like this flat muscle that's underneath the bigger, meatier part of the calf. So, most people do standing calf plus seated, but if you have to pick one, then I would just do standing. So that's the one. And then Doug put abs up there. Totally forgot about the core, Doug. Thank you very much. Forgot about core. If I had to pick one, this is good, so we could discuss this a little bit.
Declines?
I'd say decline sit-ups. Yeah, decline sit-ups with a nice full crunch all the way up.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good core strengthening
kind of everything.
Exercise. A lot of people don't do that right, though. They pull with the hip flexors and they come up with this real straight back.
That's true.
You need to roll yourself.
I mean, we have to assume everybody's doing these movements right in order to consider it right. So I guess that's kind of irrelevant because it's like if you're not doing any of these exercises, if you're doing these exercises wrong, then they automatically don't become the best.
What's the saying? Every exercise is a low back exercise if you do it wrong.
So much truth in that.
So true. Yeah. I saw Doug doing the decline sit-ups this morning, right? Weren't you doing those?
It was yesterday.
Was that yesterday? Yeah. Do you sore? You feel those?
Yeah, I do feel those.
Today's program giveaway is Maps Split. If you want to win, leave a comment below this video. The first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. We also have a sale. Maps 15 Performance and the RGB Bundle. Half off. If you're interested, go to mapsfitnessproducts.com and then use the code MAY50 for the discount. Back to the show. I need to say something to you, Justin. You do this. You've been battling with gut health back and forth. We've talked about colostrum a couple times. For gut health, there are like an immune boosting as well. But for gut health in particular, colostrum has some pretty interesting data supporting it. Now, I can't do colostrum because it's from dairy. So otherwise, I would have done it by now. But for someone like you, I would say.
Now, what are the benefits? Like what?
Repairs the gut, helps with the mucosal lining, reduce inflammation. It's actually a gut health protein, a gut health supplement.
Now, Sal, does it help someone like him still, even if he's drinking whole milk?
Yes.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Still? Okay.
Yeah, colostrum's got some immunoglobulins in there.
Because it's derived from that, no?
No.
Oh, it's not.
Colostrum is the milk that comes out when a mother first has her calf. After a certain period of time,
it's like the yellow,
that's right.
First
so it's not derived from that. So
no.
Oh, okay. So even if he's drinking milk all the time, he still would get benefit from it.
That's right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so Organifi has.
I hadn't considered that.
They have their first colostrum supplement, so they actually sell it now. So I put it here for you.
Okay.
And you can give it a shot and see. Doug, pull up colostrum for gut health. I'd love to dive into some of the data on this.
Is it flavored or is it no?
This is unflavored.
Unflavored.
Yeah. So it's not going to taste. It won't taste bad at all. It's going to taste like dairy. Yeah, colostrum, like our wives when they had the kids, the first milk that they produced is called colostrum. And it's got growth factors in there and immune boosters. It's different than the traditional breast milk.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I thought I had kind of a bad rap. No?
Yeah, there you go. Strengthens the gut wall, reduces intestinal permeability, and supports the gut microbiome. Oh. So when people ask me about colostrum for like building muscle and this, that, fat loss, it's like gut health. That's where the data. In fact, they use it for people who will get diarrhea often. It's like one of the first line things that they'll give.
Oh, interesting. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, obviously, I know that it's been promoted that way for building muscle too. But that's a byproduct of having a healthy gut.
Yeah,
you talk about this all the time, where it's like, oh, if my gut is off,
it makes such a huge difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
Well, that's what they're finding with like probiotics, right? Like there's performance benefits now.
That's different. The probiotic one's really weird, dude, because they take healthy people, they give it to them, and they get better endurance and strength.
So it's not just related to
even. I didn't know that. Even on healthy guts.
They give it to people without gut issues. They do it with athletes. Everybody's fine. Here you go. Half you guys get this. Half you guys get a placebo. And the probiotic group improves their endurance and strength faster. It's
wild.
It has to do with. I'm sure it has to do with the central nervous system because of the way the microbiome. Like your neurotransmitters, much of them are created by your microbiome, and it's such a complicated interplay between your body and your microbiome. So I don't know. I'm guessing, but there's many studies, not just one. There are now many studies. I mean, we're years away from probiotics being advertised as performance enhancing supplements. Not for gut health, not for skin health, not for. It'll be like you want to get jacked,
jacked and fast. Take this probiotic.
Take yogurt, or whatever.
I mean, we're pretty much controlled by our bacterial cells, right? Like they pretty much influence us more than anything else.
A little bit.
I mean, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, they do a little bit. Hey, I got a study on muscle memory that's kind of cool, Adam.
Yeah,
I'm
fascinated with this in particular. As we think about all the things that we're always all geeking out on. And not to bore the audience because I know I've brought it up so many times, but I've tripped out a lot the last, I don't know, say 5 years or so on just how easy it's been. And I don't say that at all, by the way. It comes off or probably sounds a bit arrogant to the audience, and I don't mean it that way. What I want to do is inspire people that are debating getting on the building muscle train and doing it consistently and hard for a while.
Yeah.
But I really feel like one of the side effects of that 3-year run I had of kind of becoming a muscle meathead for a while, that I had no idea. Like I didn't go into it all going, oh, this will also be a nice plus because I know all the research around muscle memory. I didn't think like that at all. But what I'm finding from that, I've lost a lot, but I've also kept a lot. And I also find funny you're bringing this up. I'm like, I haven't done shit for like the last month. I've been moving.
Yeah.
But I've been doing physical stuff. That's part of why I haven't trained. I've been like, just my diet's in check. I'm not overeating, but I'm lifting boxes and hammering stuff. I mean, I've been just like, it's like moving and doing stuff. And so I've been getting my ass kicked. And
you have more muscle than what you couldn't get at 20.
So,
with lifting.
And so Katrina made a comment. She's like, did you train today? I had just taken my shirt off to get in the pool with her. And I'm like, no, I said, I haven't trained in a couple of weeks, hon. She's like, you look like you have. And I hadn't looked, and I kind of looked at I looked, and I was like, dude, my shoulders look like I got a workout the last couple of days. Yeah. I'm like, it's so weird to me. And to your point, I look better at 40 something years old, not trained, just being active. And what I mean by better, like my shoulders are more defined, I have more chest muscle than I did at 26, peak training my ass off to get there. It's crazy.
I'll never forget, like a long time when I had my studio years ago, I'll never forget this little guy walks in, and he was, I want to say he was late 60s, early 70s, might have been in his early 70s. And he comes in and he's just kind of this shorter dude, maybe 5'3", and he had these little like muscular forearms, like these little ball forearms. And he walks in and I'm training a client. He's looking around. And I think he was waiting to have breakfast next door. My studio was next to a breakfast place. And he looks down at the kettlebells and he goes, oh, and he looks at me and with a Russian accent, he goes, may I try? So I'm like, okay. And he takes I think it was an 80-something pound kettlebell, and he swings it and then presses it a couple times and puts it down. And I'm looking at his forearms. I'm like, and he had a Russian accent, and kettlebells were popular in Russia. Oh, yeah. So I'm like, this dude's, so I told my client, let me go say something. So I walked over, I'm like, you train a lot, don't you? He goes, no, I haven't trained ever since I left the Soviet Union. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, I used to compete and this and that. And you see this guy's forearms, and like, they were just jacked. They were just stuck with him through all those years. Yes. But he obviously, if he competed in the Soviet Union, he trained his ass off, probably since he was a boy, all the way through. So it stays with you. And so what happens with this, and when you look at the data on this, and I'm going to I'll talk about the study in just a second. When you build muscle, your body your muscles increase the number of satellite cells that are within them. When the muscles shrink from detraining, the satellite cells don't go away. So it's like this. It's like you're going to go build a huge building downtown. And so you're getting ready to build it. So what do you got to do? You got to buy the crane. You got to buy the equipment. You got to hire all the workers. There's a lot of equipment you got to buy and workers that you need to build the building. Right. Okay.
And it takes time.
Then you build the building.
Right.
Okay. And then the building falls down. It's destroyed. But you never lose the workers. You never lose the equipment. It's all there waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to one day say, build it again.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen much faster because you have to gather that stuff because it's all ready to go.
That's a good analogy because that's exactly what it feels like.
It's like, boom.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And also,
it's an adaptation
It's
process.
almost like this too. You're asking those workers, the crane, to go build a building they've already built before.
That's right.
So they even know how to do it.
They know
faster.
exactly what to do.
Yeah, they've already got the blueprint. They already know how to do it.
That's right.
So not only is it they get to work way faster, it's like they get it built in the fraction of the time that it took them to build the very first time.
They don't need permits. They don't need everything's done to do it again, and they just got to go out and build it again. So all that time that you had to do set up is gone. Yeah. So what the study did, it's a pretty cool study, and I think that this study illustrates it, but I think the effect is even more pronounced the longer you have the muscle, like you, right?
Yeah.
I think if you built muscle and you keep it for 20 years, and then you lose some of it, this effect I think is even more pronounced. Yeah. But this is a randomized controlled trial where they took 42 untrained adults. So they're not trained adults. They were untrained. And they took half of them and they had them lift weights for 10 weeks and then take a 10-week break and then start up again. The other group lifted or trained for 20 weeks total. Okay? Yeah. So they didn't it's not like they had this muscle for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, the group that took the 10-week break lost lots of strength and lots of muscle.
How quickly?
They got them back into strength training 5 weeks. So what took 10 weeks took 5 weeks the second time around.
And
that's all new training.
And as I say, and here, let me tell you how I think how profound that is, because that's already profound. And I remember in my 20s having moments in my lifting career where I fell off. And unfortunately, back then, I would fall off and I'd feel like I looked like I fell off. Yeah. Like I'd look like I didn't lift weights at all. Like back when I was that was the thing, that was part of drove the insecurity, was that like if I wasn't in there getting a pump and building muscle and eating to be big, if I let that go for a month or time, it felt like I took all these steps back. But now over decades, it doesn't feel like that. It's like it's totally different how it feels.
There's a lot of permanent muscle I think you built too through muscle hyperplasia.
Have to be.
Yeah.
Have to be. I mean, and that's what I meant by the whole shoulder thing. Like I remember I tell the story all the time of the competitive female client or trainer of mine who told me I had weak shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, they look way better now after peak years of building them as a 20-something-year-old. I just find it really fascinating, and I don't mean for it to come off at all as arrogant.
No, I think it's cool, and I think for someone listening right now,
I just wish more people talked about it because nobody told me that. Like it would have been part of my motivation if someone told me, like, Adam, this is going to be like investing for you. Yep. You're young right now. You don't have kids. Bury yourself in this fitness thing.
Work hard on it while you can.
Yes, work hard.
Pay off way.
Yes.
Into the future.
Nobody's told me that. You know what everyone's told me on? You better do it now because when you get old, it
goes away.
It goes away. It's so harder.
Flabby.
You probably won't do it.
It's always a hustle.
Yes.
Yeah,
so part of my motivation at actually a young age was more like, I'm going to create this momentum. So I'll be working out, training hard till I'm 80. So I'm this 80-year-old. But no, in fact, actually, it's given me way more flexibility. It's easier to stay healthy and maintain. It's wild.
This just happened to me because I've cut down on my training, which, by the way, remarkably, I'm able to maintain a decent amount of strength and muscle with way less training. I had to take a lot of time off because I injured my back and my hamstring, and I literally had 2 workouts where I kind of felt normal. And yesterday, my wife's looking at me, and she knows my past and my history, and I've already talked about it on the show. She looks at me, she goes, "What are you taking?" I'm like, "Nothing." Nothing. She's like, "You look," I'm like, "I think I just kind of had 2 workouts." She's like, "No way." I'm like, "Honey, this is like muscle memory. It was really fast. Yeah. It works really, really fast." Yeah. for me. Now I won't be able to get beyond what I did before.
No, and I think that's important, right? Like obviously, because I'm sure there's people that was like, "You look like shit." What are you talking about? Like I don't look anything. I don't look anything like.
Who's gonna say that? Now that you said that, somebody's gonna say
for comments in YouTube.
Some bodybuilder.
I feel like we give
some insecure kid who's 27 still. You know what I'm saying?
There's like 2 people that comment that all the time on our YouTube.
Who
are you?
Yeah. I probably slept with their girlfriend a long time ago, so that's what it gets. So I deserve whatever I get probably from that guy.
Oh man.
So it's comes from a place I wanted to come off that way. I don't want to come off as like it's definitely not me bragging. It's definitely I'm so surprised by it. And it's such a cool thing
man.
That I just don't think enough people talk about or sell, because that would have helped motivate me even more as a young guy trying to lift. If I actually that's why I like to use the investing.
I mean, you can sell. It's a great selling point.
It is a great selling point.
It's like, hey, listen,
it's
do it hard now. When you're older, way easier to keep.
It's like the money thing. Like you don't like a lot of times, and this we don't communicate this to the younger generation enough too. We're always like flashy and buy all the things. It's like, what's so dope is that if you live a life where you live well below your means for decades, while also building and saving and investing and making money, you don't got to live like that forever. No. You actually can get to a place in your life where you like get to blow quite a bit of money and still have a lot of money because you have so many things working for you and building. And it's like,
that's what this is like.
Yeah, and I wish someone communicated that to me as a young kid also about money, because I unfortunately had to learn the hard way. I worked really hard. I got to that place. I blew all my money, lost all my money, had to get it back again to realize like, I need to live well below my means. Then did that for a long enough period of time to go like, okay, this is cool. I can.
Well, I think, on top of all that too is just the knowledge, experience, and just the way that you train now so much more efficiently and smart. That's what I've been experiencing
that too.
I'm like tripping out that I could ramp back up to a level where I was strong. I felt like strong. This was, I swear it was like a decade ago that I felt this strong, and it's now just applying everything we talk ad nauseum about on the podcast, but really just like owning that and also feeling your way through that with your body, knowing your body and that maturity. It's such a superpower. So to be able to establish that early and like really put the work in, and it's a grind and it's fucking hard, and and it just seems like it takes forever for you to get that kind of that peak level. Well, getting back to that, it's crazy how you can be effective in it.
You've only been training hard consistently like this for this particular goal for how long?
2 months, right?
Almost 3 months.
And you already surpassed your previous record, right?
Yeah.
Your lifetime record.
Lifetime record, yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's crazy.
I know.
I'm tripping. It doesn't make sense, to me personally, like on paper, but it's like, just experiencing it. It's cool, man.
Yeah, well, really cool. I mean, you bring up such a good point too, because you're right. I'm sure that makes the thing that I was talking about and just compounds it, right? Not only do you get all this benefit from investing for so many years of muscle memory and that great side of it, then the wisdom side
is big.
Because
how much more progress would all of us made in our youth if we weren't so stupid?
I did not listen to my body. Dude.
No.
Everything was in spite of what my
body
said.
I bet when you hit that, the last time you hit those numbers that you surpassed already at your age, you were probably
overdoing it.
Yeah, probably crazy training and sport for 2-3 years straight, and like you're probably peak pushing your body.
Veins popping out, my eyeballs out of my head just to get it, you know, and I'm like, I'm joking and everything in between sets and then throwing up weight that I had never even attempted at a younger age.
That's so cool.
It's a trip.
Speaking of fitness, I got a cool study on sauna use and how sauna use improves VO2 max when combined with exercise. You want to know how much?
Sauna use combined with VO2.
So 15 minutes of the sauna after exercise 3 days a week. How much more do you think it improved VO2 max in individuals?
It's impacting VO2 max in that situation?
Yeah.
Because the dilate, what's it? I don't know.
Just vascular health. That's
interesting.
Dilation. Yeah. 2 times.
Double?
They led to a 2-time improvement in VO2 max.
Interesting.
Really? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not really even stressing your cardiovascular.
It has some interesting exercise-like effects on the body.
Yeah, it simulates it, right?
Yeah. I heard an interview. I wish I remember who was interviewing Peter Attia when they asked this question, to give him the credit, but they asked him a question like that, like, looking back, like, I forgot the way he framed the question, but it's basically asking him things that you've been doing this for so long, like, what are you way more bullish on today than before? And he was like, sauna.
Yep.
He's like the research on that is just fast. It's like you should do. Everyone
really
should do
healthy
that.
for you.
Yeah, the thing, all these crazy benefits from something that's so easy to do, right?
It's
like
so easy.
It's
just
not hard to
sit in
sit.
there.
It's like very relaxing actually. It's not. So it's not a hard ask for people to sit in a sauna for 15, 20 minutes a few times a week. Yet the benefits are so profound from just doing that. That was one of the top things that he said was probably that he's changed his mind on, or that's so much more profound. And I agree. I feel like the more and more we've read on it's like, dude, it's like this has got to be a staple in everybody in every team.
When I would use sauna back in the day, when I would test my stamina, when I would do like jujitsu and stuff, and I'd use a sauna, I attributed it to my ability to acclimate to heat. Because when you're doing jujitsu, you have a gi on.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're wrestling, so you get hot. And I did
gets
get more
up
stamina because I thought it was I'm sure that played part of it, but no, it actually gives you more stamina. It actually improves your VO2 max, which is wild. Because you're just sitting there. Hey, stop working out, and I'm just sitting here. We'll make it twice as effective.
I wonder how big the sauna market has become in the last decade. Doug, can you look that up?
In the U.S., way bigger.
I mean, I remember when we were early trainers, there was none of these.
Nobody had a
brands.
sauna in their house.
Yeah, and this has become. There's like tons of competitive brands now.
All the Viking countries knew about this forever.
They've been used. That's part of their culture. It's been part of their culture for a long time.
Yeah,
but not here. No. Yeah. What does it say there, Doug?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, so in 2023, $859 million.
Yeah, I wonder what it was in like 2010.
I mean, reaching $1 billion market, it's big.
That's almost there, yeah.
Yeah, and I bet 20 years ago, I bet it was nothing like that.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Look, I have a free guide that teaches you how to lose fat in 3 steps, just 3 steps that will burn the most amount of body fat and help keep it off. This guide is totally free. We're giving it to everybody right now. If you want it, click on the link at the top of the description below. All right, back to the show.
It's interesting because I do sauna maybe 2-3 times a week.
You do?
But I had to stop doing it in the evening because my heart rate would go up. Yeah. So,
is that what got rid of your droopy eye?
did I actually have droopy eye? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, we were off air. I had to do it to Doug on air.
Droopy eye. I don't know if I like that. You know, that doesn't sound very appealing.
You're trying to paint a contrast here.
Why, bro? Why you say that?
I felt so attacked.
I had to fuck with Doug.
No, dude, he uses Caldera Labs eye cream.
I use their eye serum. Yeah.
How do you like it?
I mean, it helps. Obviously, I do have some puffiness in my eyes, but it does reduce it. I know. I look at myself. It's like, yeah, if I could only get it all the way down, but it
stress
does
levels for you. Yeah.
Well, look, I've got stress. All right.
I know, Doug. I know the levels that
you
can
use
create.
The eye serum pretty regularly.
Oh, every day. So I use that, and what it does
What do
is
you do at night before you go to bed?
No, in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I want to look my best right here. Yeah. I'm doing it for you guys, right?
Oh, thanks.
No, but it does reduce down the puffiness.
No,
for sure.
I know, right here, right underneath here.
I need to use it.
No, I've used it before. I've done it. We talked about it the last time we brought it up.
Whole face then.
Fuck
droopy
you.
eye.
I got fat face. Doug's got droopy eye. You got beak face.
Stop it.
We need one for Justin.
That's Justin's favorite thing to say to me, dude. You know that?
Face. I know he does.
I had to make something up, dude.
Somebody's gonna make a good. Gonna bring that ego down.
Hey,
a little bit.
to stay on the topic. Do you use their sunscreen, right?
Yeah, I use their
Is that the one you use all the time?
Yeah.
Does it leave a white? Does
Yeah.
it leave like a white? Because
It doesn't. No, there's no like big. What do you call it? Like a chalky kind of residue. It's not like that.
Yeah. You got to really look into the chemicals and stuff. People are.
Can I use it for my son?
Yeah.
Their sunscreen?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, they're saying now that like regular sunscreens are like super bad for you.
Oh,
Right?
I know.
I freak out.
Actually contributed
on Max.
The hormone disruption and there's just
I'm like, stop putting that on him.
Probable
Jesus.
carcinogen. You just got to look at, like yesterday we were at the store and we were buying. My daughter came with us, my 15-year-old, and she's like, "Get this candle warmer for me." And I'm thinking about the candles you put under it, and what it does is it warms the candle, releases the scent, right?
Yeah.
And it's all xenoestrogens. We found some. That's why Jessica texted yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, but we found some non-toxic ones. But you have to look at this stuff because we're just bombarded.
Dude, I mean, it's you look at what products have been created for us, and it's all like petroleum based, everything.
Yep.
And that's really been the biggest problem. It's like they've been able to recycle a lot of material because it was big business back in the day. Like, how can we, keep using more of this this waste, and they figured out so many different ways, even making it into like sugar.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's mind blowing. So to remove us from all this petroleum based existence, I think is a first step.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm going to, this is cool, Justin. You're going to like what I'm about to tell you. Okay. So I saw a clip on X, I think it was, and I'm like, that can't be real. So I looked it up and it is real. Okay. I'll start with this. How was Satan depicted in Genesis? What was he?
The snake.
The snake, right?
Yeah.
And what is one of the animal, what do they refer to as Jesus as an animal? What do they call him if they're going to call him an animal?
Lion?
No. He's a lamb.
Oh,
right?
Lamb.
The lamb, right?
Yeah. I was thinking lion.
Did you know where we get antidote for snake venom?
From lamb?
Lamb blood.
No way.
Lamb blood. Yes, dude.
What a trip.
I looked it up.
Look it up. Let me see.
Do it.
Fact check this guy, Doug.
Go ahead. Go ahead and look it up.
This guy.
I'll read you right here. Go ahead. It says right here, lamb's blood, he'll look it up, specifically from sheep, is used to create antivenom for rattlesnake bites.
So does that mean like a lamb could get bit by a rattlesnake and be totally fine?
They get an immune reaction and they can actually start to defend themselves.
So I wonder if that's a way they've evolved over time because they've been bitten by so many times.
Well, that would be the secular argument.
I got to play that way nowadays. I used to not have to play that way.
Lamb.
Well, sheep's blood has been used in the production of antivenom. Yeah, see?
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Interesting.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I know. I like that
I'm
kind of
always
stuff.
skeptical of reptiles. Let's be honest.
What do you mean
They're
skeptical?
Cold blood.
Oh, huh?
Yeah.
you don't trust
They're
them?
different. Yeah. Yeah.
They're forked tongues.
Yeah.
You know what's is it just me or are there more lizards, just random lizards all over? I don't remember as a kid seeing lots of lizards anywhere. I see them all over the neighborhood now.
I think it's where you live.
Must be less predators around.
No, do you remember them a lot? Well, you grew up in the country.
Yeah, so that was a big thing for us as kids, snakes and lizards.
We don't have any more because of my cats, dude. They've been eating. I'm like, I like lizards, but they've been eating all of them.
We grew up in rocky, hot, near water lake.
All kinds of stuff.
So that was like a very, very common thing to see.
Here's something. I brought this up the other day. I would love Doug to look this up just to see if I'm correct. You guys remember when we were kids, okay, 90s, right? Early 2000s, definitely the 90s, when there was old dog poop on the lawn. What color was it?
White.
It was white.
God, you brought this up the other day. I have not seen white poop
That was
in
a
long
really
time.
interesting fact. We were on our the audience knows we were so we do our little daily walk.
200 steps a day.
Yeah. So we're not super sedentary.
Yeah.
We do our walks every day, and we were walking around the block, and Sal asked, when was the last time you saw white dog poop? And right away I went like, oh my God, that you took me back to a kid of picking up dog poop around the house. And typical teenage boy who has a chore, and your chore is to pick up dog poop, you wait until your parents have yelled at you four times. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a 4-hour job. You know what I'm saying? And I remember it'd be all hard and white and white. Yeah. And so you brought up when was the last time? I was like, that's probably the last time when I was a kid. Yes. In the late 80s, early 90s was the last time I'd seen that.
Well, it reminds me immediately. I told the story, I think, maybe once on the podcast, but like I just got bored, because you have to do chores, and like I used to like try and entertain myself, and so it was so many dog shit. It was just everywhere.
The neighbor's yard.
And so we just took, like my friend and I that was our job. We had to like get rid of the dog poop, and I just decided to start throwing it, and I threw it across the neighbor. We didn't like our neighbor. He was a total dick. Anyway, he deserved this. So I threw it, and it landed on his roof, and we thought it was hilarious. So we just kept going.
It is hilarious.
We kept going. We
Hold on.
threw dog shit all over his roof.
So funny.
Just launched it, dude. And I had to go over there and apologize.
Oh, how did they find
you got
out?
caught?
I got caught. Like the last one, like he came out of his house, and one of them almost hit him.
You had to go on his roof.
Wow.
So
tell us why. Okay, so
anyways.
you told us on the walk why is it no longer white?
Because, and I thought it was because they don't put the same minerals in there. It's true. White dog poop, often seen in the past, is less common now due to changes in dog food and dietary habits. In the past, many dog foods were high in bone meal and meat, which meant dogs often consumed excess calcium. The excess calcium would sometimes be excreted, appearing as white coating on dried dog poop. Today, modern dog foods are generally better balanced and don't necessarily contain as much calcium. No. Hold on a second. That's bullshit. They're better balanced now. Before they had more meat. I think they're less balanced now. Do they put meat in it still?
Yeah, they still do.
Is it the same?
The bone meal would have all the calcium, right?
Less calcium.
Isn't dog food derived from like dead horse meat?
I think that's illegal.
Yes.
Like
they might. I mean, who knows? Like,
I don't think you can serve horse meat.
it's not.
they're not serving it to humans.
I don't think they can give it to dogs either.
I don't know what the dog laws are.
Is horse meat and dog food? Put that. I don't think you can.
Yeah, check it out. I thought that was true.
I think it's all the leftovers on the floor of the factory.
I always think stuff like this though is so interesting. Is like how long till finally someone goes scratch their head when like, why is the dog food white?
Yeah.
Like let's dive into the science of that a little bit.
I was like, it used to look like powdered donuts.
Like we went for years. It wasn't like it happened like one time and then
coated.
someone figured it out.
It was always white.
And it had like a little bit of moss to it too. Like sometimes you get like the bacteria that like grew. It was like spongy.
Man, you waited a long time.
Horse meat is
had
not
to pick up a lot of
typically
dog
used
shit.
in commercial available dog food.
No, I told you.
Typically, what does that mean? Why wouldn't it just be like, no, it's not. It's illegal. It's not typically.
Well, maybe somebody slides it in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, is it horse meat dog food?
Horse meat. Wikipedia.
They don't want you to know that they do
exists
that.
Horses are commonly slaughtered for pet food. Oh, so that was
It's a misconception.
It's a common misconception.
Horses are typically not. I mean, nobody eats. I think horse meat in general is illegal, right?
That I don't know.
Why? Because horses are. There was this. I saw this PETA ad, and it was like, where do you draw the line? And it had like a dog, a cat, a horse, a cow, a chicken, or whatever. And then someone took a picture of it and then drew a line. I draw it right here. I'll eat cow. I'll eat pig.
Yeah. Here's the line.
But yeah, it's like there's some animals that are dogs and horses we value them differently.
Yeah.
We do, but if this was a long time ago and it meant surviving, you would eat it.
Well,
People ate
of
horse.
dude.
Yeah.
I've eaten it.
You've eaten horse?
In Japan. Yeah.
No shit.
Raw.
Raw horse?
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds gross.
It does. You've also eaten raw chicken, huh?
Yes, I have.
They serve. They serve raw chicken there like sushi.
Yeah. It's actually good.
Oh, really?
God, why is
Sashimi. It's raw. Yeah.
That's not good.
It tastes good.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, we eat raw beef. You eat raw beef and you eat raw fish. Why would not?
Well, they serve a pigeon, like squab, as they say, right?
Where?
That was like in New York, like some restaurant.
What's the weirdest thing you guys have eaten? Doug, you for sure have one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He wins with horse. Hopefully, nobody here said dog because I'm gonna leave.
I have not eaten dog.
Okay,
No.
I just looked at Doug like that.
That I'm aware of anyway.
Yeah, that you're aware of.
My wife would win if she was here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she traveled the world with Cirque, so she's eating guinea pig.
That's not that crazy.
And then she had the craziest thing she ever had, which I'm like, I don't even know how you're here. She was at some weird village because remember she traveled to Cirque and then they would go off and do things when they would have time off. And there was a bar. It was an outdoor bar, she said, and they would kill a snake and bleed it into a cup and then add vodka. So you'd have fresh snake blood with vodka and do a shot.
That's probably Thailand. Yeah.
And she did that.
That's kind of wild.
It might have been.
What's the thought process on that?
Doesn't sound safe.
No idea.
I mean, eating snake is not that uncommon, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, snake meat is supposed to be pretty good. In fact, I remember we considered cooking it and eating it one time because we used to kill rattlesnakes all the time out there.
Oh, you were going to do it here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, because we used to kill all that, and I can't remember as a kid who had told me or whoever, I don't remember who it was like, oh yeah, no, you could cook that up. It's actually really good. What?
No, dude.
Yeah, no.
Justin's eating
Anything
nothing
weird? Oh, dude, it was all like fear factor stuff.
Nothing outside of chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was up to me, it would be just
One time I had a medium rare steak.
Yeah, right. I had what's it called? The black, big, huge, rotten like duck egg.
Oh, you ate that?
Yeah, that was like when I was. It was part of this whole fraternity thing, and like I was living at this house, and
That's disgusting.
yeah, dude, it was so I threw up everywhere. It was
Oh, you actually got sick.
of course immediately, dude. You think I'd put that down and be cool with it?
Not to totally switch gears, but I'm sure the audience will appreciate it that I'm switching gears. Somebody messaged in because they heard me talking about the chlorine in pools and said that I can spray.
You said this already.
Vitamin C.
Yeah, you brought this up already.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did bring this up.
I haven't done this yet. I want to do this.
No, you brought this up. We looked it up.
Did you send me over how to make it?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a link.
Send it over to me. That's why I was bringing it up because I didn't think you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I don't read anything you send to me, I guess.
You don't even pay attention when you look like you're paying attention. You asked me and I told you, and you conversed with me about it. We did a whole thing.
Oh, man.
I ate a rock eel too one time.
What's that?
It's you catch it in the ocean. Rock eel, really ugly.
Oh,
that's not that crazy though.
That's not bad.
I feel
It's
like
a fish,
crazy.
right?
I mean, yeah, you eat eels
Going back to this
sushi, but
Justin's like, I'm not done. I got more stories.
Yeah, you guys think I'm sold nuggets? Dude. I'm pretty cultured.
That's your
Doug,
nickname.
have you had Rocky Mountain oysters?
I have not.
Okay, that's
No,
like
I've not.
You ate some testicles?
that's cow balls, right? That's
Yeah,
cow balls,
I don't believe I may have had them in some other form.
That's kind of common too.
Wow.
Oh.
The thing I saw that was the weirdest was in
Rhino
Cambodia. There were these ladies selling they had these big trays of bugs.
Oh, no.
Some were tarantulas.
No.
Yeah, and this
No.
guy that was on my tour bus, this Vietnamese guy, he bought a bag full of tarantulas and he was eating them like
God.
chips.
That's crazy.
God,
I couldn't do it
Yeah,
though.
that ruined me for a little bit. Right
I mean,
now.
it's weird. It's kind of
couldn't do
trippy though
that.
when you think about how
I'm not good now.
we've all like how easily we're all conditioned to eating the way we all eat, and anything outside of that's so gross. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's such a cultural thing.
it is a cultural thing because if you grew up eating tarantulas and it was the normal thing, and your parents did,
Yeah.
well, when I was a kid,
It's like potato chips.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, I tell you guys a story. We visited, my cousin had just married this guy who lived in like the hills of Sicily. So they're like farmers like that. And they killed a goat right in front of me. And it was all tied up, all sweet. I was like playing with it.
Yeah.
And they just came in and they stabbed it, and it, I was bleeding, and then they cut it and chop it up in front of me.
Yeah.
And then we ate it.
This is for you.
But because I saw that
Horrified.
process, it was a strange feeling.
Yeah,
I
I know.
remember eating it going, I just saw them kill
we
it.
did that with chickens, and I had a hard time with the chicken after. I had a hard time.
Did you have to kill the chickens?
Yeah.
You did?
Oh yeah, break its neck, slit its throat, stick it in a cone upside down, bleed it out, put it in steaming hot water, pluck it, did all of it.
Oh, you did all that stuff?
All of it. Yeah, I raised them and had to kill them. I was like, remember I told you I worked on an organic
That's right.
dairy before organic was like a thing.
But I didn't know you killed chickens.
One of the things that we did was a mobile chicken coop, which was really actually
That's smart.
Yeah, brilliant, ahead of its time and everything like that when we were doing it and raising these organic chickens. And then at the end of raising them, he was like, "All right, it's time to slaughter it." And like we were like this total mom and pop place, so we had like a makeshift setup. Like you had this boiling pot of water outside, and then we took orange emergency cones, cut the tips off so that you could shove their heads down it and they would bleed out. Because when after you cut a chicken's head off or slice their throat, like
they're still gonna run.
Oh yeah, they still kick and flop and do all that. So shoving it in the cone kept them from doing that. And you let them bleed all the way out, and then you dip them in the steaming hot water, and then
Wow.
yeah.
Was eating chicken weird for you a little bit afterwards?
Yeah, no, it took me a while. I can't remember how long it was, but I remember being a young man. I was in high school doing that, and acting tough while I was doing it. Like no problem, like I was totally game. Like whatever my boss said, I'd be doing. I'm not afraid. Whatever. Did some really gross things working there. And but I remember afterwards when like having a real hard time for probably a year or two.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like, I'm cool on the chicken. We'll eat steak tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like it did.
I know it's not fun.
Yeah, it messed that up for.
We're so far removed from our food.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And I do think there is some value to that.
That's why I want to go hunting. I've never gone hunting before, but I want to go hunting because I feel hypocritical almost because I'm so far removed from my food that I want to go and do the whole process and see,
Yeah, I think there's tremendous value to that. I think people should. I mean, I think it should be a skill we should all try to learn. I mean, I think it's unfortunate that we don't teach those types of things in school. I think every kid should learn all that and be a normal practice, especially if you plan on eating that for the rest of your life.
It sounds makes sense. Makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
I got a study on creatine side effects. You guys want to hear it?
What's side
None.
effects? Like,
No, they did a big study.
That's great.
They do a big study. They looked at a bunch of studies, and the side effects from creatine matched the placebo. In other words, it's a super safe supplement. Super safe supplement. The only side effects someone may get is gastro effects, in which case take smaller doses throughout the day.
we're this close to beginning to recommend it to kids all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like it's real close to that.
So I've been taking 15. Who's doing it with me? Are you guys taking 15 grams a day? 10 to 15 a
I've
day?
been doing it since the series started.
Okay, so I've been taking about 15 grams a day, but if I do it in like 4 or 5 gram doses, split out, that's totally fine. I did the
That's
full
what I do
dose.
5 a couple times.
Yeah,
a day.
if I take all at once, then it's not good.
I noticed that the first time. Remember I said it didn't bother me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting down on those gummies gummies.
And you had diarrhea?
Well, no, actually, it like blocked me up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
I just noticed.
I felt like crampy.
I felt more like I had more, but closer to constipation than I did. It didn't give me diarrhea for sure, but it gave me more constipation. So it definitely upset my digestion.
You noticing any benefits from the higher doses of creatine?
I'm not sure because
you're also training hard.
Yeah, I'm training hard. It's hard to. I don't know if I can isolate as easy as. And I know that's like your favorite thing to do is like, okay, am I feeling it right now? I don't know if like I can't like focus that.
He's getting a lot of jacked comments.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm throwing at myself.
A lot of people say how he looks the most jacked.
He is. He's the most jacked I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
You've put on like 12 pounds of muscle.
I wish you would have freaking.
I know. It makes me so mad. Makes me so mad. Anything.
Makes me so mad he didn't too. I'm like, bro, come on. You're already doing this.
I'm a little heavier for sure. It was like
it would have been really
7
cool.
pounds heavier.
You're 7 pounds heavier on the scale.
I think so.
But you look. Are you leaner too?
Yeah, probably. Leaner. Yeah, I'm definitely. Leaner.
It would have been really. It would have been really cool for the audience to see someone who doesn't care about this stuff that goes about programming to get stronger.
Definitely would have sold more programs.
Yeah, definitely would have probably helped the business out. That would have been not a bad idea, maybe.
Idiot.
Are you doing other body parts too? Because it looks like your whole body's responding.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's supplemental. Really, I haven't even been. Like obviously I've been training my legs just enough. Like I've been doing front squats and things to kind of supplement what I'm trying to do with my push press. And two, like I'm in a split stance a lot more. So I've been doing lunging.
Yeah.
But I mean, all of it is affecting, dude, this lift itself, I swear, like we had talked about, it literally is like the upper body squat. Yeah. It covers everything. Like I feel this all the way down my body every time I lift it.
Especially the way
now, are you going to do what Adam did, where he just stopped afterwards? He was done, stopped working out. Or are you going to are you going to try to like at least keep some of this?
We'll see,
I mean, I don't want to like, I don't want to hype that up because I will want to like take a nice little like break in terms of intensity, but I'm really enjoying how I feel right now and the strength and everything, the movement wise. So the athleticism, if anything, it'll be less intense, but more range of motion and more movement focus.
He's already feeling like a fraction of how because I was tracking everything I ate. I was documenting on Instagram.
You have to stop everything.
And that's why I'm not doing that.
Well, I didn't stop everything. I don't eat like an asshole. I'm still like keeping my diet in check.
When's the last time you worked out?
Well, it's been a while.
Yes.
So,
yeah, there's actually a comment in a recent video.
What?
Did Adam stop working out?
Yeah. See, I mean, there's some couple. I mean,
that doesn't do anything to Adam.
It doesn't.
He cares nothing.
Yeah, no. Especially when my wife makes comments like, "You look good, hun. Have you been lifting?" I'm like, "I haven't actually. just some boxes."
If we could tie it to money somehow, like, oh man, sales went down.
The business starting because then I might fire up.
I would have been motivated.
Is Courtney commenting on how you look and everything?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, she comments on it, but it's funny because she gets a little like she pulls it back like, oh, I need to, and I'm like, this isn't. I don't know. It always annoys me because it's always like. She gets like more insecure when I get in better shape, and then it's like I'm like, no, honey, like it's has nothing to do with that.
Then you just convince her to have more sex with you.
I do.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm always convincing.
It'll help. You just keep having sex with me. Then,
like, I hope this helps. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, good job. Look, you're not what you eat. You're what you digest. The right digestive enzymes will break down your food, get those nutrients to your muscles, help your digestion, help alleviate things like bloating. There's a company we work with called Masszymes. These are the best digestive enzymes for fitness enthusiasts like you. Go check them out. Go to masszymes.com. That's masszymes.com/mindpump. Use the code mindpump10 and get 10% off. Back to the show. This segment of the podcast is brought to you by Mind Pump Fitness Coaching. This is the #1 course that teaches trainers and coaches how to build sustainable 6-figure plus businesses and careers in fitness. Look, it's roundtable based, so you can hear Adam, Justin, and myself teaching you how to build a better business, get more leads, close more deals, close bigger deals, and be more effective trainers. By the way, our course is nationally recognized. In fact, it gives you 1.9 CEUs with or for your NASM certification. Find out more at mindpumpfitnesscoaching.com.
Our first caller is Josh from New York.
Josh, what's up, man?
How you doing, Josh?
What's up, guys?
Thanks for waiting. How can we help you, brother?
Well, I wrote because, I've been having issues with, recovery time, and it just seems, constantly dealing with injuries whenever I'm trying to train. I feel like I'm pretty diligent with my warm-ups and whatnot. Probably could be a little better with my cooldowns and stretches afterwards. But just as far back as I can remember, I've just always been having issues with, setbacks. I have a couple ideas and theories, but, I wanted to hear what you guys had to say about it, or if you dealt with similar people in the past.
What are your theories? I'd like to hear what you think.
Well, I've been going to the doctor. I have, a list of issues from the past. I got like Lyme disease. I have hyperthyroidism, Graves' disease, pre-existing injuries from the Marine Corps. They definitely took their pound of flesh. And it just seems, that kind of list. Joints, aches and pains, pulling muscles left and right. Probably my current lifestyle probably doesn't help either. I work as a CO. I'm a volunteer firefighter as well. So, I stay pretty active, pretty busy.
Okay. All right.
What MAPS program are you following right now, Josh?
So I was doing performance, but, I had to stop that due to, shoulder. Both of my shoulders actually at the same time. So that was almost 2 months ago. I hurt them so bad that, I could barely lift my arms afterwards.
So here's what happens, or here's the checklist when it comes to injuries. Now, if it's like, one injury or two, you typically want to look at technique and form, and are you doing exercises that are appropriate for your body? Are you able to move properly? Do you have enough stabilization, et cetera, et cetera? When it's repeated injuries, when it's like a string and it seems to be a trend, and also, I think this is probably you just looking at your background. I'm looking at your background: military, volunteer firefighter, law enforcement. Usually what it is in that case is poor sleep. So not enough sleep or bad sleep. It's just not good. And or overstress, overtraining. So if it's repeated, now here's the challenge. When I say that to people, if they're used to having poor sleep, then they'll probably just be like, nah, I sleep the same as I've always been. Unless it's really bad, then they'll be like, yeah, it's sleep. The second thing with the overtraining is we often judge how much we're doing based off of maybe what we could tolerate before. So you might be like, oh, I only work out 4 days a week. I don't think I'm overdoing it. But the string of injuries, the fact that you're talking about having repeated pulled muscles, shoulder pain, and this is like a long-standing kind of thing, I would say sleep and overtraining is what we're at, or overstressed and under rest. And so I'd scale way back, and I would prioritize sleep. How is your sleep? Do you get a full 8 hours every night? Do you wake up in the middle of the night? Do you need a lot of caffeine during the day?
Oh no, my sleep is terrible. I've pretty much ditched caffeine. I had a feeling you guys were definitely going to hit on overtraining and whatnot. My endocrinologist, he was on me day one. He was like, you need to stop for, a month or two until we get medication balanced, get your life balanced. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So when he gave me the go ahead, I started easing back into it super slow, not overdoing anything, mainly starting with mobility, working on that, and then slowly incorporating strength training again. So I do feel like I have scaled back.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you were doing the mobility? When you were just doing mobility, how'd you feel?
At first it was frustrating, felt like I should be doing more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But, I got used to it. I, started focusing on the benefits and the positives of it. It makes sense with the condition that I'm in right now. I'm not in my 20s anymore. Can't just jump into stuff and start grinding away like I used to.
Tell me about your sleep. You said it's terrible. Give me some details.
Oh yeah. I wake up quite frequently, during the night. Even with me doing volunteer work, when it's during my regular work week, I will try and prioritize the sleep and make sure I get sleep unless there's like a big emergency going on. It feels kind of bad to say that out loud, but I'm useless if I'm not, performing at an optimum level. So I do recognize that.
So the data on sleep and injury is there's nothing is in the same universe.
Yeah, biggest contributor.
It's not just like, it's the highest contributor to injury. Nothing comes close to, in fact, one night of poor sleep will almost double the rate of injury. So if you're chronically underslept, number one, you're kind of used to it, so you probably don't know what it feels like to really feel rested. But you're going to keep it. So I'm going to be honest with you, Josh. There's nothing we can tell you to do exercise wise.
Yeah.
That's going to help this until you get your sleep fixed.
And it's great that you've scaled down and you've scaled, and focused on, bringing the intensity down and whatnot. But you're not recovering if you're not sleeping. Like nothing training wise is benefiting you in that regard, which is a frustrating reality, but it is the reality of the whole thing.
Mobility and walking is about all I'd let you do right now.
At the most.
That's about all I'd let you do just to keep you sane and moving and stuff like that until we address the sleep situation.
Yeah, I would go with a sleep expert, work with a sleep expert and nail this down. Your entire life will change if you could get your sleep in order. Everything will change.
And if you don't, then you're going to be you'll get a hot streak for 2 or 3 weeks, but then you'll be right back where you're at again with an injury and set back again. So if you don't listen and you do that, then your body will make you listen. Yeah,
but I would work with a sleep expert, and I'd say, look, and that's the priority. Like you have to fix that. You can't do anything else unless that gets fixed.
Okay. Yeah. I had a feeling we were definitely going to touch on that.
I know it sucks for an answer.
So lame. Dude.
I know it sucks, bro.
Lame answers.
It's not.
Yeah, but look, I'll help you feel better about it. You start to fix your sleep.
Yeah, it'll change your life.
Your whole life is going to change.
Yeah.
How long have you been having poor sleep for?
Probably since I left high school and joined the Marine Corps.
Josh, I'm gonna listen. Yeah. Your brain volume has reduced. You've got less gray matter. There are things that you will start to see that'll reverse that you don't even know are happening because it's been so long. Mm-hmm. It'll take like 60 days of good sleep, and you're going to start to come out of some clouds.
Like a new human being.
Yeah, like it'll feel like superhuman is the difference. But you need to work with a sleep expert because if it's been that long, there's some issues there that need to get addressed.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I noticed I was definitely having problems. I've tried to go through a couple MAPS programs, but, work, life just kind of kept getting in the way, and I would have to stop halfway through it or, reset or stay in a phase longer than was planned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Walking and mobility only, Josh, until we figure this out. Because I get how it would feel horrible to do nothing, so I'm okay with that. But it's got to be walking and mobility until you start to string those weeks together of getting your sleep in line. Anything else is just too high of risk for where you're currently at.
It won't benefit you.
Yeah, it won't.
It'll actually make me worse.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel worse.
Yep.
So currently, I'm in physical therapy for trying to rehab the shoulder issues, and that's pretty much. I was waiting for the go ahead from the therapist. She said, "Start working on your mobility again, and walking."
Yeah. No.
Okay. I can do that.
No. That's it. And like I said, tackle sleep. Like that's it. I got to fix this. Mm-hmm. So you work with a sleep expert and you work on it, and you should notice pronounced improvements within the first 30 days. But you got to get that addressed. Otherwise,
you're just laser focused on that.
Yep.
That's your entire world right now.
That's going to affect your health. It already is. It's affecting your health in some pretty negative ways. And there's not much you can do exercise-wise to remedy that.
All right. Yeah, I was kind of hoping for some guidance regarding warm ups, styles, different.
No, just mobility, bro.
Movement pattern. Yeah.
Yep. Just.
I mean, that makes sense. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can look up the data yourself. Look up sleep deprivation and injury risk.
We've done quite a few episodes. I don't know if you've listened to how many. Okay, hopefully you've heard some of them. But we've done a lot of episodes talking about.
But if you have a hormone doctor, you can. I need to work with a sleep expert, and they'll refer you.
Oh, that's a good one. I got a little notebook here.
Yeah, you're
taking notes.
Yeah, there are medical professionals that understand sleep, so have them refer you to a sleep expert. They'll do a sleep test. You probably have to wear something to go to sleep, and they'll test you for things like sleep apnea.
Yep. All that stuff.
And they'll just go ahead.
A few months ago, I started putting what is it? I forget what it's called, but basically on your phone you can
Brain FM.
put a wind down mode, and it puts into night mode and stuff, so it blocks certain notifications. So it basically tells me when to go to bed. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well,
so I've been trying to do that.
Yeah, but you're a volunteer firefighter. Your house is ablaze. And what you're doing with your phone is you're taking a cup of water and you're throwing it.
Yeah, squirt gun. You got a squirt gun.
Yeah. This is going to be an overhaul. This is going to be a total overhaul. And it's going to be some big changes, but it's going to change your entire life. It's going to change everything.
Yeah.
It's worth it, Josh.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. I'd love to hold you accountable to it too, or I'd like to hear back from you in a couple months, like 90 days.
You want to do that?
I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear from you what you've got set up and going on.
Progress.
Yeah, because I there's a lot of other people that are in a similar boat that just aren't taking the leap either, and I'd like to hold you accountable to go do it because I think it will make an incredible impact, and hopefully that'll inspire somebody else to take the same steps.
Here's the deal, Josh. Military, law enforcement, what they taught you to do is what you've been doing for a long time. And this might even be part of your nature.
You've endured it and worked through it.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm just going to trudge through and keep moving. You're used to it now. It's been since high school you've had shitty sleep, and you're just going, and you're going to the point where you don't even realize how bad it is. You know it's bad, but you don't really realize until you peek out from under the clouds, and you'll be like, oh my God, whoa, this is way different. Your hormones are affected. Your immune system's affected. Your cognitive function's affected.
Your mood.
Your heart is affected.
Everything.
Your liver is affected. Your muscle, your everything. So, especially for that long. So, it's a big, big deal. And you're not going to know how big of a deal it is until you start to come out of it.
There's so many unrealized gains once you tap into that.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
At first I didn't believe it, but listening to you guys and doing a little bit of research and reading on my own, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, the data's out there and doesn't lie.
Trust us.
Yep.
Trust the process.
I want you to follow back up, Josh.
I want you to get there.
What's that?
I want you to follow back up. Like
90 days.
90 days, okay? 90 days.
We'll have you back on the show.
Yeah, 90 days. I want to hear back from you and hear where we're at.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
All right,
man.
All right, brother.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.
Easy.
You got it.
I hope he listens.
I hope so too.
know, man.
That's why I wanted to put it on him like
I
that.
know.
Because I'm like, I'm gonna fucking call you, bro. I feel like you're gonna hang up and be like, I ain't doing that shit.
Of course.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's
Do a
just
different
it's
workout.
just sleep. That's everything. It literally, like it's everything. Like how your body just regenerates and recovers, hormone balances, everything.
The hardest part is what Sal said though, is that when you've been in it for that long, you don't even know how bad.
No,
it
you're
is.
just a zombie moving forward.
Yeah, I don't know how many people I've talked to.
He has no idea.
Where I'm trying to help somebody. Like I was just literally this last weekend, I was talking to my boy, and this was actually more hormone related than it was sleep related. And he's like, "Oh, I'm fine." I'm like, "Your fine is not good. You have just learned
You know what it feels like.
Yeah, you've adapted to that. That's how amazing our bodies are. So resilient, right? They're so resilient." And so it does a really good job of figuring out how to survive off of whatever you provide or give it, but it does not mean you're good. And you don't know it's good until you get good. And then you go, oh shit, I was really bad. And that's kind of like what happens when you talk to somebody who's been chronically underslept for
I knew
a
it
decade
right.
or more.
I knew it right away.
Because getting injuries like that, I was like, wait, there's no real reason.
No, he listed all his injuries, autoimmune issues.
Yeah.
I look at his question. I see his background. You could see it in his face. He's chronically poor sleep, chronic, and since high school. So it's been years. And that, I mean, listen, you have changes to your brain within a short period of time. Over that many years, he's like in a cloud. He doesn't even realize. And it is not just useless to try to do different workouts. It's actually detrimental. It's actually bad for him to try and do different workouts. That's how bad it is with that kind of
negative,
poor sleep.
Crazy.
Our next caller is Valerie from Arizona.
What's up, Valerie?
Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, what's up?
Good. Sorry, I think it's a little quiet. There we go.
No, we see you.
Okay, awesome. How are you?
Good.
We're doing great.
Good. So I have a question about weightlifting for calisthenics and mobility. I have many fitness goals and ultimately want to get stronger and more mobile to be able to achieve calisthenic skills such as levers, handstands, pull-ups, muscle-ups, etc. I feel pretty weak overall, and my mobility is definitely not there to be able to do skills like the pistol squats and dragon squats. So how can I train to gain more muscle and mobility and be able to work on these skills? I know that practicing these skills and the different progressions is really the way to achieve these skills, but how can I help my body along to see real progress and strength in skills? I'm 31. I've been an athlete my entire life, but was never the most flexible. So it's been hard to gain more of that flexibility and mobility as an adult.
Yeah, good question.
Cool.
You're right. There's nothing is better than taking those movements and regressing them down to something that you can practice and then slowly progressing up to the skills you're looking for. Okay? Nothing will come close to that. Now, when it comes to strength training, you can do basic lifts that will contribute to some strength, but they're not going to come close to replacing the regressions. In fact, 95% of what you should do, if that's your goal, if that's your main goal, you're like, look, I want to be able to do levers and handstands and muscle ups. 95% of what you should do is regressed versions of those and practice them frequently.
Now, that being said, if I saw you attempt a pistol squat, there is a possibility that, I mean, can you sit ass to grass with both feet on the ground? Can you do that?
Not yet. And it's taken probably 8 months to even get like below 90.
Okay.
That's never been like a strong suit at all. And growing up, like I played volleyball my entire life. Yeah. And when we did weightlifting in college and stuff, it was never that deep into mobility like it was, but it was a lot more shoulder focused. But I still feel like I've lost some where I've never really gotten that mobility still.
So the thing that I would do with you is, most likely your ankle mobility is probably what's limited. And so working on the ankle mobility and in conjunction with practicing this pistol squat. So it'd be like you and I would warm up and we would do a real good combat stretch. And then I'd use like a band or like a suspension trainer to assist your body weight. And we would work on the depth to where you can get all the way down comfortably and then come back up. And that's what a regression would look like. But it also would be mobility focused. It would be what's your limiting factor of why you can't do the full range of motion calisthenic movement you're trying to do, addressing that mobility thing, and then doing the thing to the greatest depth that you can, and assisting you if I need to assist. And that's going to get you there faster than anything else. You going and bilateral squatting 200 pounds is not going to help your pistol squat.
Yeah. Although I do find if we were to structure like you're still working on the foundational type lifts, like your squats, like your overhead press, and all these main lifts, but range of motion is the issue. That's what I would work on and tailor back a lot of the load. So we get down into depth in terms of your squat, but now we hold and we take an isometric pause squat, and we incrementally work our way down in terms of like the angle of that. And then also too, in conjunction with that, in the days in between, working the skills. And so you're working on your body weight skills with your pistol squats, or working with the rings, or even obviously these types of tools like props with like the TRX straps or the Olympic rings are going to be very helpful with those other goals. But yeah, for getting into new ranges of motion, we have to incrementally, really strategically work on that and recruit and hold those positions and recruit in those positions. So even more so than just the mobility of it, we have to work on the strength in that range.
You know what's really cool too about flexibility and mobility, Valerie, is you can there is a way to dramatically improve and increase the speed at which you gain mobility and in particular flexibility. And that is to practice it all day. So what that would look like is, let's say you're at work and you're sitting. Sit in a way to where you feel a light passive stretch on an area that you want more flexible. And so you're just sitting there while you're working, and you're kind of stretching. You don't need to push it to where you can't work, but like, you can sit in a way that stretches your hip or your hamstring or your calf or a shoulder, and then switch sides. And all day long, find ways to do these really light stretches and movements throughout the entire day. Like sitting on the floor is a good example of something like this.
Yeah, or even here.
You'll gain flexibility very quickly in comparison to other methods by doing it that way.
Okay. So I do some of that already, especially, sitting at work. I try to do a lot of hip, and I do have a standing desk. So I try to like go up and down, sit to stand. So I'm not constantly sitting for hours. It's a mildly active job. Like I'm a nurse. So I move around a lot, but yeah. And I've done some of the mobility stuff you talked about, like with the like TRX straps or whatever, suspension stuff. But I don't know. I did that for a couple of months, but I don't feel like I moved anywhere.
Where do you feel most of your tightness?
Really, I think it is ankles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you go to bed, for 10 minutes, do some really long static stretches in combat position.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing the combat a few times a week before I warm up.
Every night before you go to bed. Literally.
Okay.
And then this is what it looks like. So when you do it as a mobility warm up, it's active. If you do it as a static stretch, this is what it looks like. You get into the position and hold the stretch and breathe and relax. You're going to go to bed, so you want to calm everything down, and literally do 5 minutes on one foot, 5 minutes on the other foot. It's a long hold.
Valerie, how long did you play volleyball for?
Well, I still play. So for 21 years, I started when I was 10.
So understand that doesn't help this, right? The position your stance that you get ready in, right? It's like you're not even at fully 90 degrees. Your hips are back. Your chest is forward. So you've gotten really strong and explosive from that. So your body's very comfortable and very strong in that position. And we're trying to reverse a little bit of that work by working in a greater depth. It's going to take time. And the longer someone's gotten really strong in that shortened range of motion like you have, the more difficult it is. Had you never played volleyball, it would be easier for me to get you to there than it would be with you have done that your whole life. And so I've got you. So that's part of why it feels like that. You can do it, but just think about the amount of reps that you've put into volleyball. We need to start putting that amount of reps into that ankle mobility. You've got to think about it all the time. I mean, you can't do it too much throughout the day. Yeah. Every time you can get down in that combat stretch, even if it's just for a minute. The frequency of you doing it is going to be the key to you gaining that newfound range of motion. But you've played volleyball for a long time in that tight, short position, and you're strong in it, which makes it even harder. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, and in terms of the muscle up, the biggest limiter is depth in that dip position. So that's something I would chronically work towards in terms of like getting strong in the lowest position possible, and grinding your way back up through that. And that'll help substantially as you're going to switch and lean forward and get more of that chest involved, to press your way back.
Can you do pull-ups?
No, I can't yet. Okay. Last summer I was close to one pull-up.
Okay.
Because I started this probably about a year ago when I really wanted to do more of the body weight stuff. But then I had kind of a wrist injury, so I haven't really done handstands for like 7 months or something like that. So it's been a little bit limiting, and like trying to work on grip strength and kind of rehab my wrist for a while, because it gets better and worse.
Yeah. Are you tall? Because you play volleyball. How tall are you?
I'm 5'7", but I have legs and arms like I'm 5'10", so I have a very short upper body and long limbs.
That's going to make it a lot harder for you to do a muscle up.
and harder for ankle mobility too. Those are both. These
are the big goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool, but it's gonna take a lot of time.
It's great. It's great to work up to. So, so for now, I would get good at pull-ups, and you can start with a negative. So get yourself up at the top and control the descent is a good regression.
It's going to be a hell of an accomplishment when you do it, just so you know.
Yeah,
that's a good goal. That's a really good goal, but you definitely shouldn't be discouraged if it's taking a long time and you see other people because you're not built for it and you played a sport that's not helping. So the fact that you did those things and that you're working towards it, I think is an awesome goal for you. Yep. But don't get discouraged because how long it's taking, because that is a big goal for your body type, what you played sports-wise for a long time. Even if you had a ideal body type for that and didn't play that, it would be still hard. It's still hard. You're trying to do one of the harder things for your body type and what you played for a long time.
People that do muscle ups really easy are typically tiny with skinny legs.
Yeah.
They weigh nothing.
It's a good goal. It's a good goal. Don't get discouraged.
No, don't.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling in, Valerie.
All right, Valerie.
Yeah, of course. Have a good day, guys.
I like her goals because they're all performance based.
Yeah.
It's all cool. Performance based,
and it's gonna stretch her because that's
skill and performance.
Those are hard. Those are real hard.
Yeah, but I had to ask her, how tall she was and stuff because especially girls that could do muscle ups are typically tiny gymnasts.
Yeah.
It's not and you got long arms, you're tall.
And they started real young too.
Yes.
So the amount of time and volume like it took for them to really get strong and stable in a lot of those positions is
but you got to be able to do like 10 pull-ups before you do a muscle up, in my opinion. So if, start there.
Yep.
Because otherwise you're not going to get the speed to get up to do it.
No, dude.
Our next caller is Sadie from Florida.
Hi, Sadie.
How you doing, Sadie?
Good morning.
Hi. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm so excited right now.
Good to meet you.
Us too.
How can we help you?
Yes, so I was calling in with a question regarding bone density after extreme weight loss. So if I can just read the email I sent you.
Yeah, do that.
That's probably best.
Sure, catch us up.
Okay, perfect. And this is kind of a lot, so sorry in advance. But I grew up pretty overweight. I'm 5'7", and my highest weight was around 200 pounds. I used food to comfort me and cope with a lot of trauma I faced at a young age. When I got into high school, I developed a pretty nasty eating disorder, and over the course of a year and a half, I lost about 120 pounds and became severely malnourished and underweight. When I finally reached out for help, my heart was beating in the 20s, my organs were failing, and I didn't even have enough strength to stand up on my own. I got admitted into the ICU for a month, followed by 2 months of inpatient treatment to get me more mentally and physically stable. And while I was there, they gave me a grip strength test, and they told me I had the grip strength of an elderly woman, but I did not know what that meant until I started listening to you guys, funny enough. Anyways, I was so lost when I re-entered the real world. I only knew the extremes, how to lose weight fast and how to gain weight fast. I had no balance or understanding of true health. I was still underweight, undermuscled, and scared to eat when I found you guys. Through listening to your podcast, I became comfortable eating more and doing some light strength training, but it was mostly isolation exercises via machines. As my body continues to heal, I'm becoming more concerned about the health of my bones because losing so much weight has definitely taken a toll on them. So I started lifting heavier about 6 months ago after listening to you guys for about a year and a half at that point. I'm currently strength training 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times per week, full body. I rely heavily on the Smith machine for squats, deadlifts, and bench press, and I still use a few other machines like lat pull downs, chest presses, and rows. And after my lifts, I do incline walk for 20 to 30 minutes just for some low impact cardio. So I was wondering if I'm on the right track as far as
you're doing incredible. You're doing really good right now.
Yeah.
What a great comeback story, and your approach is awesome.
Sadie,
that's awesome.
I just want to compliment you. So you're young, right? You're 21?
Yes, sir.
The courage you have to come on this podcast and to talk about and be so vulnerable and talk about your challenges and what you're doing. You're helping a lot of people.
I hope you reach some other people that are afraid to do something like this. It's incredible that you've turned this around like that.
Great job. Excellent job. Have you had a bone scan?
That means so much.
Yeah, no, you're doing great. Have you had a bone scan? Because you said you're concerned with bone health, or is it just because you're just like, I need to focus on it?
It was just because I feel like I need to focus on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had a scan.
Okay. And it says in your question that you're eating about 2,000 calories a day?
Yes. And then probably around like 160 to 180 grams of protein.
Doing great.
And are you tracking, or is this a rough estimate?
So I was tracking for a couple of months, but then it kind of turned into like a mind game.
Yeah.
So put it on the back burner, but from the eating disorder stuff, I have a pretty good idea of like portions and whatnot. So
good answer.
I'm making sure I'm eating enough.
You're in the right place.
You are.
And are you working with anybody through all the challenges that led to that? Are you working with therapists or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I have a therapist and a psychiatrist that I see pretty regularly. So they're helping me so much with the mental side of things. And then y'all's podcast, like I can't emphasize this enough. I truly believe it saved my life. Like, I don't know if I would be here right now if I didn't, if you guys weren't so encouraging when it comes to women fueling properly and like the importance of muscle. And I don't know, y'all just really transformed my life, and it's
proud
amazing.
of you. So proud of you.
You're doing a really good job. Do you work right now? Or are you in school?
I'm working right now. I had to leave college because of all that stuff, but I work 2 days a week. So
are you in our private forum yet?
I'm not, no.
I'm going to have Doug put you in there so you can stay in touch with us.
Hey,
so you got access to it. Yes, you got access to us when you have any questions like this as you go. But I tell you what,
you're a big inspiration.
You're kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you have any and do you like fitness? You ever think about coaching other people?
It's funny you say that, Sal. Right now I'm actually taking an ASM's personal trainer.
I knew it.
Beautiful. Look at you.
I knew it. Something inside me told me that you would make an excellent. People like you make such good coaches.
Oh my God.
Sadie.
Such a great story.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in our trainer forum, and also we'll get you in there, and you can talk with our coaches and trainers and our team. And I think that would be a great career path for someone like you. I think it would be good for you and your health to help other people, but I think it'll also give you a tremendous sense of meaning and purpose, because it's going to get all the challenges you went through are going to have a lot of meaning and purpose.
Did it for a reason, yeah.
Yes, because it made you this incredible coach. It's really going to make you an incredible coach. If you have a passion for this, I really think it's a good idea.
Oh, I do. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Well, you're in the forums now. Stay close to us, okay?
Yeah. And
alrighty, I'll be reaching out.
Yeah, and keep doing the strength training. Keep bumping your calories. Focus on getting strong.
Yep.
And find some people that you can help yourself. Do it for free. It's going to help you too. I think that's the best thing you could do.
Yep.
Will do. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
You got it.
We'll see you in the forum.
Thanks, Sadie.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What a badass story.
Dude.
Oh, dude.
Yes, man.
Love it. I love it.
I love it. That's so it's so encouraging to hear, especially a kid, 21. She's
turned it around, man.
But I knew it. I heard her talking. I'm like, I bet she's trying to be a trainer.
Yeah.
And if she's not, I was going to convince her, because I think that would make such a great.
Oh yeah, what a great, and man, to have figured this out on her own. Really, I know she credits listening to the podcast, but the fact that she's making all the right choices. You could tell there's a little bit of hesitancy here to tell us that the isolation exercises, but a person like that is great.
I don't care.
That's a great introduction to get you going.
She's applying resistance.
Yes,
and that's going to help build things back.
100%. And 2,000 calories already. Like, she's in a good place, man. So she's going to get it all back. So
totally,
what a cool story.
Our next caller is Phil from Colorado.
Hey Phil, what's happening?
What's up, Phil?
How you doing?
What's up, guys?
Good,
man, I'm fangirling real hard right now. So
Yay!
I'm going to have to just read what I wrote. Hopefully that's okay. Sorry if it's a bit long-winded.
No, that's good.
Sweet. So I started listening to Mind Pump in 2019 after the birth of my 5th child. I quickly drank the Kool-Aid and was binge listening to episodes and past episodes while waiting for new ones to drop. I bought the RGB Super Bundle and attended the live event in Denver. I was in the private forum, and I ended up purchasing Suspension, Resistance, Anywhere, 15, Prime Pro. So I'm pretty stacked there. A little bit about me, and admittedly super nervous to talk about this in such a public forum, as I'm also currently in a job search. But I bought all the programs, listened to all your advice, but I was in a really bad place, both physically and emotionally. I was struggling with depression and alcohol abuse. As a result, I would start a program and quickly abandon it. My drinking was out of control. And for the second time in 2024, I entered an inpatient treatment program. And actually, as of today, I'm 6 months sober.
All right.
After leaving treatment, I started with MAPS 15 just to get back in the gym. I'm currently in anabolic phase 2, starting with the pre-phase. I'm 36, and I'm down to about 210 pounds from my height of 245. And depending on which scale I use, in body or my home one, I'm around 25% body fat. I've seen significant improvements in my strength and overall volume each week. So now to my question. I'm currently consuming around 1,700 calories, mostly from whole foods, generally in the 100 grams of protein range. However, I'm really struggling with appetite and wanting to boost those numbers. I've heard all you guys said about the importance of reverse dieting to achieve my goals for weight loss and strength, but I just am having trouble getting my appetite back. I've tried shakes and bars to boost my calorie intake and protein, but I still have no appetite or hunger. How can I change my body to want to eat and reverse dieting with the goal of still losing about another 25 pounds?
Good question. All right, so when appetite's low, there's a few places I'll typically look. So let's start with your current program. Which MAPS program are you currently following?
Anabolic, phase 2. Just started that today.
Are you 2 or 3 days a week?
Generally 2, but sometimes I fit a third in there.
Okay, good. Stick with 2. How's your sleep?
Really good since getting sober. I'm roughly around 7.5 hours. Pretty consistent. Wake up here and there, but fall right back asleep.
Okay, good. And stress?
Pretty high. 5 kids will do that.
Wow. Yeah,
and between jobs too,
search,
right?
So you know that's been difficult, and then just everything that comes along with being in recovery.
Okay, and do you know what your vitamin D levels are at?
Not currently. I was taking a typical vitamin pack from the supplement companies. But no, I've since stopped taking that.
Okay, I would start taking vitamin D again, making sure you get sunlight during the day, really focus on sleep, maintain where you're at with the strength training, and keep eating whole foods, and your appetite will start to come back. One of the side effects of sobriety for some people is they're either they overeat or they undereat afterwards for whatever reason. You're only 6 months sober. I think you're doing okay. Now I can tell you to force feed, so we can convince you to push, and a little bit of that's okay. But what I don't want you to do is to make that like a thing where you got to really force feed yourself. I think it's a good idea to add a shake. If you're hitting about 100 grams of protein a day, I think a 40-gram protein shake would be a good idea. You can add that at the end of the night before you go to bed. There's nothing wrong with that. And then just stay the course. Just be patient and consistent. And as you get stronger, your appetite should start to slowly come back.
Yeah, I'm not pushing in this situation either. It's interesting. I don't know if I've ever met a guy or a friend of mine that had kids, multiple kids, and between jobs that didn't stop eating. It's weird. It's almost like a thing that we all kind of naturally tend to do. Like, I don't know if it's innate in us or what, but it's like a common side effect of that type of stress. Like, oh my God, and it's because it's just this low level all day. You're probably thinking about it, or even subconsciously it's in your mind. And so you tend to lose the appetite. I think once that gets kind of resolved for you, I think maybe that's when, if I was your trainer, right? And we were training, I'd be like, let's just keep doing what we're doing right now, 2 times a week, keep heading the pace. When you are hungry, eat more. But let's solve that. Once you feel good, you get in a rhythm again with your job, then we can start talking about like trying to push the calories a little bit right now. I just think that pushing too hard might end up reverting back either to alcohol or reverting back to binging or that direction. And I'd be more worried about that than I would be like, reverse dieting you an extra 200 calories more a day, because even though that's good and you will long-term want to do that, where you're currently at right now, I would want to make sure you're good before, as your trainer, I pushed you in that direction.
Adding, like I said, a 40-gram protein shake is fine. Now, do you mind if I ask you some more kind of non-fitness questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so do you have a group of friends that you hang out with regularly, or did that change after you stopped drinking?
Yeah, I'm pretty insulated as far as outside friends. I have a huge family, so it's, family and kids, and we all have kids, so we all get together pretty regularly. Everybody's been super supportive.
Okay, good.
Good.
That helps a lot. My closest friends are also my brother-in-laws, so it makes it easy.
Do you guys ever meet up, just you and the guys, like once a week, without kids, without wives, and just talk about how to become better?
Not as often as I'd like, for sure. Busy schedules with all of us. But yeah, I mean, it does happen, just not as often as I would like.
So I've been looking a lot into this just personally, for personal reasons. And the data on this is really interesting. Men and women gain a tremendous amount of benefit from meeting weekly with, women with women, men with men, and focusing on, how to become better at something. So like, okay, how do I become a better dad? How do I become a better husband? How do I become a better person? Men are notoriously terrible at this. We're so bad at this. Like especially as men get older, we just don't make friends. We just kind of stay on our lane and do our thing. I think that's a good idea for someone like you right now, because you got rid of the alcohol. So you're probably challenged with dealing with things without having that, that quick release. If you could find a few guys that you meet with the purpose of, we're going to meet once a week or maybe once every other week, it could be twice a month. And the goal is, let's see if we could just focus on becoming better. I've been looking into the data on that, and it's profoundly beneficial. So I think that would help you a little bit with this journey of yours.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's certainly difficult dealing with the loneliness and the change in environment. I think my biggest struggle wasn't necessarily the alcohol, but dealing with all of the depression and anxiety and emotional stress. So more a symptom of a deeper cause there. But yeah, the connections are huge. And I agree. I mean, I know I feel better when I meet up.
Totally. And it's got to be a regular thing. That's what the data shows. If you need help looking for groups, typically local churches have men's group that meet specifically for this reason. It's like, how do we become better type of deal. And again, I've been looking at the data on this, and it is really, really good. So I think that would help you quite a bit. As far as the workouts, 2 days a week, just do that. Walk every day. I think taking vitamin D is a good idea, and add the protein shake for now, and then let your body slowly improve its appetite.
Right on. I appreciate that. Do you mind if I ask a question? I've searched the Ass Mind Pump, but I haven't really found anything.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on IV therapy and some of those systems, as far as I see them popping up all over the place? Is that beneficial? What are like, how long does it last?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends for what? Like, what are you looking for specifically?
Well, specifically, like to address like vitamin deficiencies,
yes.
Like you said, vitamin D, stuff like that. Are those boost packs going to last long enough, or is it something where it's kind of just a trend?
I mean, not a bad idea to do, because it might give you some insight that you're deficient in stuff, right? If you go do one of those, like, B vitamin shots or the IV or whatever, and afterwards you walk out like, oh my God, I feel amazing. Well, that might tell you like, oh, you might be running low on some stuff.
I think what would be better would be if you're going to spend money on that, would be to get a nutrient test to see what you're deficient in. Now, here's the deal with IV. There are some things that don't get absorbed well orally, and there are other things that get absorbed well perfectly fine orally. So like, it doesn't make sense to do an IV drip of vitamins you could just take orally that get absorbed well. Now, sometimes people have absorption issues, in which case an IV works really well. Like, some people have issues absorbing B12. They have gut issues or whatever, in which case a shot makes a big difference. Most people don't, though. Most people are fine. Vitamin D absorbs perfectly fine in capsule form. Glutathione might be a good idea if you're looking for liver support or something like that. Liposomal glutathione's okay. It just takes longer to work. But otherwise, except for specific applications, they tend to be overrated based off of whatever.
The biggest key from them is that it giving you insight on that you're probably deficient. Because if you did one of those things and it made you feel amazing,
you get a B shot, you're like, whoa, I feel way better.
That's a big sign that, I'm probably deficient somewhere, versus, this is something I need to do all the time. It's like that. Don't let it do that. Like, if you go do it, it's not like, I need to go buy this every so often. No, it's like, that means you're deficient somewhere. That's why it felt so amazing right afterwards. Let's dive into what you're deficient in, and then fix that out via probably just a daily pill, and you're going to be fine.
Perfect. Yep. Right on. Thanks, guys.
You got it, man. Thanks for calling in.
All right, man.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Yep.
Take it easy.
It's so. Have you ever noticed that? Like every guy I've ever met that has a family that has gone through between jobs,
job shifts,
you stop eating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost like it's innate in you, which makes sense, right? Like if you go all the way back thousands of years when we were hunting, and I all of a sudden couldn't find food, it's me who's gonna.
It's not a priority anymore.
I'm gonna ration it for me because I'm like my kids need to eat, my wife needs to eat, like I need to care for them, and it's like, and you just automatically lose weight and you're not eating, and like that
short-term acute stress suppresses appetite. Long-term moderate stress,
especially
increases appetite.
I actually think especially like that type of stress. Like I think there's some sort of correlation with like providing for the family and like it's every guy I know that has a family that has been through that always loses all kinds of weight.
And I asked him that question about friends because what happens sometimes when you become sober is the friends you hung out with, that's how you guys hang out.
Well, yeah.
And you don't have that social component anymore. So the data on that is like, meet with people who are like-minded regularly. It's really powerful for men. We are terrible at making friends and doing that.
It sounds like he's got a pretty good support group though with his family and stuff like that.
But there's a difference between like the kids and like
but I think it's so profound for somebody who doesn't have any of that.
Oh,
right?
even more.
You take somebody who doesn't have family, doesn't have close friends, never does that. Then all of a sudden they start meeting. It's like boom, like this. It's like an unlock.
But you know what happens too? Sometimes you get in a pattern. You guys ever notice this where you have old friends, you don't see them for a while, you meet up with them again, and you fall back into like, well, this is how I used to be. And it's like this weird. Yeah, so it could be a challenge as well. But he's on the right path, dude. He's on the right path. And for people listening, you may be thinking on paper, forcing him to eat more would have been the right thing.
No, not right now.
But no, it doesn't work that way.
Not right now.
All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. How strong should you be? Ever wonder if you're actually strong, or at least compared to people like yourself? Today's episode, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to help you determine how strong you should be, and also talk about the steps to getting strong as fast as possible. In fact, we're going to talk about the fastest way to get bigger and stronger all at the same time.
I know keeps Adam up at night.
Yes, it does actually, and I know that you wrote a really complex episode here, but I think Justin's metric has been the one